Hey everyone, it's Dr. Jen here. Welcome. I am really excited to be here today. I cannot believe that it is the end of summer, that back to school in New York is right around the corner. And I guess depending on where you are in the country, your children may have already started school. But I wanted to talk today specifically about back to school and breaking some bad summertime habits that often occur. Yeah, we get a little lax in the summer with our kids, right? And that's okay, right? I have kids myself, and you want to enjoy, you want to have fun, but then the routine of school sets back in either end of August or the beginning of September, and you sort of have to get back into that routine again. And I think it's important because kids really, really thrive on routines. So I'm just going to wait for a few more minutes for people to join. In case you don't know, I'm Dr. Jen. I'm an assistant clinical professor of pediatrics at the Icahn School of Medicine, and I take care of children for over 23 years now in my pediatric practice and caring from newborns through young adulthood. Today, specifically, we're talking about young kids who are in school, whether it be preschool, elementary school, even all the way through high school. I think these tips are really important. It's never too early and it's never too late to really implement and improve your habits, because your habits from childhood, they actually continue into your adult life and they can have a huge impact. So not to say that you can't change things, but when you are growing up healthy and you're having healthy habits, it's just easier for them to stick. So I talk about why they're important, give tips and information to help you make those changes. And again, it's not supposed to be overwhelming, and I know even I'm giving lots of information, you don't have to do everything all at once. You take small steps, and that's what I do with my kids and my family and myself too. You know, no one's perfect, and anyone who's touting to you that they're perfect and that everything is great, obviously that is just not reality. And I'm sort of based in reality as a pediatrician. I see so many different parents and kids, and I know how crazy it can be. So I want to give you those tips and make small steps that can really stick. So breaking those bad habits and hopefully to establish really good ones. So let's maybe jump in right now. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them now, and I will answer them either during this live video or afterwards online as well too. I love hearing from all the viewers and all my followers, and that just helps me to shape, I know, what you're interested in for parenting advice, tips, pediatric information as well too. But today we're specifically talking about breaking some bad summertime habits to get your kids optimized for school, for learning. And there's definitely a lot of research and studies out there that really can help you get the most out of your children's school day. So the first is going to be sleep. And yes, I'm sure you've heard it before, sleep is important. Sleep is probably one of the most important things for children. And kids need different varying amounts of sleep. You can go online, I have charts and things for you, but each child is a little bit different, right? So in general, those elementary school kids and older in middle school, 9 to 11 hours. It really just depends. I don't really say specifically because each child is different, but what you should know is if your child can't get up in the morning, if they're really crabby, if they're really cranky throughout the day, then they probably need more sleep. Hey Laura, thanks for watching. And if they sort of lose steam throughout the day, they seem really sleepy, and they're having a hard time concentrating in school, having headaches, not feeling well, it definitely could be because they're not getting enough sleep. Also, if they can't get up in the morning, another reason, right, that they're not getting enough sleep. I'm a big believer, we'll talk about this a little bit more, about kids, getting up and getting ready for school, and you not really having to pry them out of bed. That should be one of the habits that they learn, is that they need to go to sleep earlier if they can't get up in time for school. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. But why also is sleep important? So we know from many studies that it helps boost your immunity. It's important for having an ideal body weight. Your body recharges at night. It regenerates, as I said, growth, your immunity sort of works overtime, and there's hormones that are important at night too, while you're sleeping too. So there's all this balance that's really, really important. We know from studies that kids who get good sleep, they concentrate better during the day, they do better in school. and they overall just feel better. Again, less headaches, stomach aches, things like that too. So getting proper amount of sleep is really important. And how do we do that after the summer when kids have been, out of camp and sort of there's really no bedtime and things are really different. So you want to get back to a routine. So even before school starts, a week before at least is great if you can. And obviously if your kids are starting school tomorrow, then just start tomorrow. But you want to start having that nighttime routine. I find that to be really, really helpful for kids. So you want to sort of wind down early. They can have a light snack. You don't want to give them anything really heavy to eat at night. That can give them stomach aches and make it more difficult to sleep or have to go to the bathroom. So also, again, just getting ready at night, either a shower, a bath, whatever they prefer. Soft music, kind of turn off all those loud TVs and things and electronics at night, hopefully an hour before. One of the best things that you can do with your child is read with them. So again, if you haven't over the summer, get back into that habit of reading with them. So you can read with them on grade level so they can practice their reading, but also at a higher level, you can read to them. It's so great for them learning skills and conceptualizing, imagination, what comes next. So it's also a great way to bond with your child in a quiet time. So either that or playing games or things without, again, electronics is really important. Those electronics is very difficult then to wind down at night. Listening to music is a great idea. Again, just talking about the next day or how your day went. Again, just that closeness, feeling secure. That also helps to decrease anxiety and stress in your child too. If they go up to bed with positive feelings and positive attitudes. And again, you have to emanate that for them so they feel secure as well too, and let them know what's going to happen. I'm very big into habits and routines. Not everything needs to be exactly the same, but when kids have structure and they know what to expect, they do so much better and they feel much more empowered, and they are just less scattered and stressed when they know specifically what to do. So how else can you help your kids get enough sleep? Planning. So planning the night before. I think this is really important. So again, you can start this with young kids too. Let them pick out what they want to wear the next day, and what they pick out, that's what they're going to wear, right? So they can pick out their shorts or their pants and their shirt. Obviously, if they go to a school where they are wearing a uniform, it makes life much easier. But if not, you want to pick out something appropriate for them to wear to school. Let them help you with it. You can put it, on the dresser, or have like a little box where you put everything in. So they know in the morning they go right to that, and that's what they're going to wear. It definitely cuts down on time in the morning, less stress as well too, because you're not fighting about what they're going to wear. And same thing with getting their backpack in order. So you want to make sure that their backpack is in order the night before, right? Any papers that they have to bring to school, books, notebooks, pens, pencils, calculators, everything is in there and ready to go. So all they have to do is, if they bring lunch, put the lunch box or bag and a drink right into their backpack, and they're ready to go. So again, it cuts down on steps. So one, it makes it better because it's easier. They can sleep longer if all this is done ahead of time. There's no scattering and there's less stress for you as the parent and the child in the morning. And it gives them more time to sleep, right, as well too. It also, which is going to bring me to my next point, is breakfast. It's going to give them more time in the morning than to eat breakfast. And breakfast, there's this debate always, is it the most important meal of the day? So I don't know, I'm not sure if it's the most important meal, but it definitely is an important meal of the day, right? You need to space out healthy eating throughout the day. And breakfast is important because kids, right, you rush off to school and they've got early classes in the morning and need to concentrate and they need to listen. And we know kids can focus better. They do better on their exams if they have eaten something in the morning. So I think it's really important. It doesn't have to be a huge, big meal if that's not what your child likes. Some kids really like breakfast and they do better. So yes, having that time in the morning can be super, super helpful. But what do you want to give them? So you definitely want a breakfast that's high in proteins and high in healthy fats. Carbohydrates are important too. So you want to, honestly, I feel like moderation is key, and now you probably hear that. But yeah, you want to make sure that you have all those things, healthy fats, you want to have protein, and you want to have carbohydrates. But you don't want it chock full of processed and sugary and extra sugar and donuts and things like that. So what is good to have? So again, people always want to keep it simple in the morning, right? I know I do. So avocado toast is a great thing to do. Even peanut butter on toast is a great thing. Even cream cheese, a whole wheat. You can put it in a wrap so the kids can eat it to go. cheese sticks. Nuts are really great to do too with some fruit. Again, it doesn't have to be, it could be simple. So, right, it's better instead of drinking orange juice, but having an orange. So, again, you can peel them the night before, right, and have that all ready. So, I'm all about like the prep. So, taking the time the night before just makes things easier. You can even set out the cereal and the bowl, and then so you just have to pour the milk in the morning. And again, whatever your child likes, whether it's regular milk or almond milk, soy milk. Again, that's also a great source of protein. Has lots of vitamins in it as well too. One thing that I love in the morning that I'm telling parents all the time is eggs. Eggs is a great source of protein for kids. It has healthy fats and omega-3s in it. It has iron in it, lots of antioxidants. It's a great breakfast. So again, you can have hard-boiled eggs. You can have scrambled eggs. Things like you can put it in a tortilla. You can put it in a hard taco shell. They can take it with them. It could be fun. So, but it doesn't have to be. I guess one thing I want to say to parents is that it doesn't always have to be exciting and different. And that's one of the things that you oftentimes people say has to be exciting, different. But we know from a lot of studies, people who eat the same breakfast over and over, a healthy breakfast, it just becomes routine and habit. And it doesn't have to be exciting every single meal. I tell my children, right? It's not has to be gourmet each time, but find things that they like. One of the things that you can do is make a list of all the things that your child likes to eat, and then you can alternate them throughout the week. So then again, it's not the same exact thing, but and you don't have to think about it. So it doesn't have to always be Mondays this, Tuesdays this, but you can mix it up and have those things so that they know that there will be things in the house that they like to eat. But those are some good things to do. Certainly you can do smoothies. I'm not a big, I would rather children eat the fruit because you get the fiber and all the antioxidants, and it's a much less sugar burden. So right when you have a smoothie, like you're putting in like lots of fruits and sometimes vegetables, but often like lots of fruits, and so it's a lot of concentrated sugar. So it's way better if you can just cut up apple slices, and they can, dip it in a little container of peanut butter. They can dip it in yogurt. Kids definitely love to dip. So anything that they can dip usually makes them pretty happy in the morning. Again, you can add nuts to it, whole grains, oats, so things like that too. So it doesn't have to be, as I said, you can just use little plastic bags and they can take things on the go. So just make it simple and easy. Think healthy fats, think proteins, and try to stay away from all those really processed foods. So that's really breakfast, but just in general throughout the day, again, summertime is often filled with lots of snacks and ice cream. And, I tell my parents in my practice, it's okay, like kids can eat ice cream, but it's all about, as I said, not just moderation, but also about portion control and portion and sizes. So we tend to, when we're thinking of kids, we're like looking from our eyes as an adult, and it's often way too much food. For example, a toddler, like the amount of food that they eat is their fist size, right? So it's like a little portions. So they may eat like half an egg, and they may eat half an apple, 1 or 2 crackers. Like that's enough. That's their recommended daily allowance. So we always think so much because we're thinking from our eyes, and it doesn't look like it's enough food. So when they're done, they're done. Don't force more on them. If they've had a snack already, so say they've had ice cream, like just give 1 scoop. I never understand, like, why does your child have to have 3 scoops of ice cream, right? You can give them, they can have a treat and they can have 1 scoop, and that should be fine. If then later in the day or the evening comes and they're still hungry, well, then it's fruit or a cheese stick, and that's what they've had. They've already had their snack. I remember when my kids were little, they're bigger now, but I used to say, oh, do you want some ice cream when I got home from work? And they would say, oh, wait, we had some before. I just thought that was amazing. Like they already knew that they weren't going to have it again. And I didn't need to police them. I wasn't even home. But you also want to make those healthy snacks available. I say this over and over again, but my kids will eat watermelon if it's cut up and it's sliced and it's ready to go. It's in the front of the refrigerator. So you want to make sure that those healthy snacks are there for them to take. And they'll take them if they're there and they're available. But if I leave a whole watermelon, like no one thinks to ask to have it cut up if they're young and they can't do it themselves yet. So you have to make it as accessible and as easy as possible too. Try not to buy so much junk food. Again, I get it. I'm a parent. Your kids want to have snacks once in a while. It's not always the healthiest, but you want to make it sort of the exception and not the norm. Which brings me to dessert. So like maybe in the summertime, again, I'm just bringing up ice cream, but ice cream and you're sort of going out and you're having lots of desserts. But dessert should really just be not part of dinner ever. So right when you're eating dinner, kids should be full and finished, and that's it. And then if they're hungry later on, they can have a healthy snack. Or if it's some other special time, they can have a treat, which may not be as healthy as normal. But again, they know that it's a treat. Is it a birthday? Is it a special occasion? But having like candy and junk every single day, you want to get out of that habit because they start to crave that sugar, right? And it's not good for your GI system. It's not good, obviously, for waking. It's not good for your brain because you get these ups and downs from all the sugar highs and lows. So you sort of want to keep as level as possible, and that's again with proteins and healthy fats too. So I'm totally not against fats. Fats actually kids need for their growing brains as well too. It also keeps you full and feeling not so hungry. So again, it's all in moderation. And sometimes people say to me, well, moderation means the same amount of junk food as it means healthy food. No, actually, moderation means eating healthy as much as possible, and occasionally you can splurge. And that's okay. There's always going to be holidays, there's always going to be kids' birthdays, and there's always going to be events. So I don't think you have to worry that your kids are not going to get junk. It's certainly something that their body doesn't need, but yes, in our society, I get it, that it does occur. So certainly if you have other questions about healthy snacks or what else, I'd love to provide more information. So just let me know what you're looking for, and I can give you that as well too. So we talked a little bit about food, we talked about sleep, electronics. So summertime, there's so much playing. Hopefully your kids got outdoor with the nice weather, and have been taking, family walks is a great thing to do. Swimming, just playing ball, going to the park is great. You can continue those activities through the fall as well too. It's great to be outside together as a family. But electronics sometimes take center stage in the summer. I think with going back to school, it's super important to have like a family, what we call media plan or a family media diet, where you decide ahead of time, what is appropriate for you and your family, how much electronics do you want your children to be playing or be doing. But you have to know that, while they're playing electronics, that's taking away from social interactions, as being with their friends, being with family. I would say that you want to really make mealtime a time when there's no media going on, especially not watching TV. This is a time where you can talk, find out what's happening with your kids, tell them what's going to be happening for the week, just talking to each other, really, and finding out what's happening and staying on the same page is just really, really important. I think electronics during homework is a big no-no. Kids need to concentrate, right? So if they're on their phones or they're getting texts from their friends, or it's hard to concentrate on doing their work. And there's definitely studies that have shown, and I actually don't even think you need a study for this, but right, if your child is on their phone or they're Snapchatting, then of course, obviously it's going to take way longer to do their homework. They're not going to do it as well. They're not going to be able to concentrate. And if you think of it this way, or you tell them that if you have a no phone zone for homework, they're going to actually finish their homework that much quicker, and then they can use their media if you so desire before they have dinner or what have you. So make times that they're allowed to use it, that they can use it, because yes, it's never going away. We know that there are definitely some positive aspects, right? They can speak with friends maybe that they aren't seeing now from camp and things like that. It's definitely important to monitor their use. And again, for each family and each child, it's really different. I think you should know what's going on, know what accounts that they have, be friends with them on their accounts. And as they get older, you know your child, and you can build the trust. Let them know that you may spot check on them, and that you want to know what they're doing. But certainly there's also this balance of your child having some privacy as well too, right? So we had diaries when we were young, or we were speaking on the phone. So they need to have some privacy, but also obviously you have to keep them safe as well too. And I think that's really important. So again, we want to make sure there's enough of the day that there's exercise, and that there's time to socialize, that there's time to communicate, and that they're getting their homework done, and anything else that needs to be done. So you do want to have a media diet in your household, and you again have to sort of abide by it too also, right? So if you tell your kids they can't be on their phone during dinner, you try not to have your phone out during dinner as well too. I occasionally have to break this as well too, because if I'm on call, right, they know that my beeper might be going off, but I have different settings. If it's an emergency, then I get it right away. Otherwise, I may call a patient back in 15 to 20 minutes. So we can finish up dinner, and then I can make the calls. But I think with all these things, whether we're talking about sleep, whether we're talking about exercise, whether we're talking about electronics or healthy eating, as a parent, you don't need to be perfect, right? But we need to be present, and we need to really monitor, but also we need to be a role model. And I think that's really important. It's not about being perfect, but it's about, even when you do make mistakes, pointing them out and showing your child, we can move forward from this. We move on to the next day. And we don't really make excuses. We own up to it, and we try to be even more healthy the next day. And so I think that, there's always stresses upon us or what have you, but giving kids limits, setting routines, following through with them, not giving idle threats, not saying no all the time, remembering to praise your child. All these things really help with the positive outlook, positive parenting, and really help your child to do well in school, because they feel good about themselves, they feel safe, they feel secure, and it really, really builds upon itself, because that's really what you want in the end, right? A healthy, happy, confident child who can then take on the world. So I hope this helped, and that these habits, as I said, they may not be easy to break all at once, but this is what you do. You do it stepwise, small steps at a time. Again, trying to get them to get more sleep. So again, that may be at the front end, packing lunches and getting them ready for school the night before, making sure that they have breakfast in the morning is so important. Trying to decrease that junk food and having healthy snacks available throughout the day can help them to concentrate as well too, and to perform better in school. And really having a media diet and decreasing electronics throughout the day and after school, to making sure that their homework is done, that they have time for everything else. And again, no easy task, but breaking it down into small bits, even writing things out, having some, guidelines. I don't think you have to call them rules, but guidelines for your family can be extremely helpful. So this is Dr. Jen, and I'm coming to you on Facebook, and I hope this was helpful. Please, if you have more information or questions for me, leave them in the comments below. You can go to my website, drjen.com. If you have little kids, please check out Pediatrician in Your Pocket. It's my comprehensive video guide for helping parents take care of kids from newborns through toddlers. Everything you need to know about sleeping, eating, peeing, pooping, picky eaters, preventing food allergies, what's an emergency, all common illnesses and ailments that your kids get, what to do for them, when you need to call the doctor. It's all broken down into 5-minute videos that you can watch 24/7. I'm there for you as your pediatrician in your pocket, letting you know what to do and advising you so you feel confident and secure as a parent. It's Dr. Jen, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Have a great day.